Good afternoon. Today it's Isabel's turn to take over for Tales on Trent. So hi Isabel, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Isobelle Cate. I'm a paranormal romance and contemporary romance author, though I gear towards paranormal romance and they're quite steamy. I've been writing since 2013. I have my most popular series is the Synchroar Bloodline series, and it's about vampire werewolf hybrids. There are now 11 books in the series. I also write about saber-tooth shifters who time travel. I write about firebinders, and these are people who have real fire in their blood. And a host of other shifters and witches as well, but predominantly I'm more of the vampire werewolf hybrid kind of writer, although I want to move to other paranormal situations as paranormal beings. I live in Manchester in the UK, and I have one son, and he's in university now.
Have you always wanted to be a writer?
Yes, I've always wanted to be a writer. I remember trying to write my first teen romance, and that was when I was 14. I gave it to a family friend who was a writer, and she gave me a lot of tips. But at that time, of course, because you are quite impressionistic at that age, her comments I thought were criticisms. So afterwards, because of that, I set aside my love for writing, although I kept on reading. My favorite was Nancy Drew, so you can just imagine how old I am just by Nancy Drew. And I set that aside and decided not to write until I came over here to the UK in 2002.
And then what made you finally make the jump and go for it?
It's so funny, actually. I wanted to be a children's author. So it's really it's a 180-degree turn from being a children's author to a paranormal romance author. I think the reason why I decided to go back to writing was because we were living in an apartment, a basement apartment. That was in 2007, and there was a huge deluge. It was a downpour here in Manchester. And what happened was that we had a guest, well, an uninvited guest, but a surprise guest nonetheless. It was a baby hedgehog who fell down the stairs of our apartment. And because of that, it started my love for writing again. And I wrote about that hedgehog. And I did try to send it to a lot of literary agents, but they rejected it. So, but then at the same time, I was also reading paranormal romance. And the first time that I visited Scotland, I fell in love with it. And I decided to, and then the second time I visited Edinburgh, I decided to write a short story. And I finished that in a weekend about Edinburgh. And that started my my path towards being a paranormal romance author. And it all started with a hedgehog. So that's really something that, it's going to be an anecdote I'll keep on telling people. Yeah.
That's lovely as well. I love that. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that hedgehog stayed with us until it died of old age, which is just 5 years. So yeah, so hedgehogs don't really live that long. But Buddy was my inspiration for returning to writing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you enjoy most about writing?
I enjoy the settings and the scenarios that you just come up with, um because it's paranormal romance, you can almost get away with anything because you can make it up. I mean, obviously you cannot interview a vampire, and Rice would only do that. I mean, I cannot do that. I'd be scared toothless about it. But then yeah, and then I like the steaminess, and I like the sensuality of paranormal romance. I like um the immense possibilities of being able to create characters with different skill sets, with different gifts, and how they interact with humankind. And it has always been like that, I think, in terms of paranormal romance. There's always um, a human element to it, but at the same time there is a supernatural element to it. And I think a lot of people will often gravitate to something that's supernatural, something that piques their curiosity. So that's the reason why I went that way. Yeah.
And what's your biggest dream?
Oh, my biggest dream is to buy a brand new house. No, I'm just kidding. My biggest dream is to probably hit the lists, at least just one list. Another, I mean, it. I'd like for people, a lot of people, to be able to read my books, because I've put my heart and soul into it. I'd that would be my dream. That would be probably my biggest dream. Aside, of course, from traveling and the house and stuff like that. But in terms of writing, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Will Tales on Trent be your first signing event?
No, my first signing was in 2016, and it was in Birmingham. And I was really, really nervous, because I did not know what to expect. I would be in, I was a relatively unknown writer. And I did not know what they would think of my books. But it was quite enjoyable. I got to know different authors as well, from different genres, but predominantly it was predominantly romance. But there were others who wrote um, um, cozy romance and stuff like that. Um, so that started, and then I've been to other author signings in Southport, in Edinburgh, in Aberdeen, yeah, and in Manchester. Yeah, I think that's what I can remember at the moment. Yeah.
Are there any authors attending that you're particularly looking forward to meeting?
In Tales and Trent, everyone. I mean, Jen and Mina Carter. I'm a fan of Mina Carter's. I'd like to meet. As you know, we're part of the Tuesday Club, and I'd like to meet all of the authors that you have interviewed, that Claire has interviewed. I'd like to go meet Toya again, because I know Toya, and the pandemic has made me realize how much how valuable it is to have human contact, or human connection, interconnection, interaction. I'd like to meet Darren Walker. I'd like to meet Martin Ferguson. I'd like to meet him. One of his books. It's in my to be read list, so that's going to be the next. Yeah, and a host of other authors.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I can't wait to meet Martin after yesterday. He's lovely.
Yeah.
So
It's quite phenomenal, and I'm really, really impressed that the Tales and Trent doesn't just focus on romance. It focuses on a lot of genres, and that is really, really something. I mean, that's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I just wish it was May next year already. I can't wait.
That's true. Yeah.
So how many books have you written, and are you planning to take them all with you?
Yes, I am planning to take them all with me, primarily because I'll be giving some away. So for my day and Tales and Trent, in the page, I'll be giving a book each. So that's going to be a lot of books. So I'll have they're all going to be signed paperbacks, and with obviously with some swag. So I'm going to bring some of them, but at the same time, what I'm going to do is to also put up a pre-order so that I don't have to really carry too much. Obviously, I'm going to be able to. I'm going to be bringing one whole set of each because I'm going to be giving that away. But then also I'll need to make sure that we don't get a flat tire on the way to stop. It's so content because of the number of books that I have. I'm going to be bringing them. So it's going to be vampire werewolf hybrids. It's going to be dragon slayers. It's going to be firebinders. So I have 11 in the Synchror Bloodline series. I have 2 in the Dragon Heart series. In terms of contemporary romance, I have 4. So that's already 13 plus 4, that's 16. I have 2 firebinders, so that's 18. So those are my books at the moment. I have some short stories, but I have decided to keep that as an ebook because that's part of what I normally will give to people who sign up for my newsletter.
Awesome. Well, I don't have any more questions, but would you like to tell everyone where they can find out more about you and where they can get your books from if they wish to get them before the event?
Okay. You can stalk me on Facebook at author Isobelle Cate. And then I have an Instagram account at Isobelle Cate. I have a the newsletter, of course, but I'm going to be giving the list of the links in the Trent the Trent Tales and Trent page. And they can get it from there. And then in terms of books, they can get it from Amazon. And then they can get the first book in the Synchror Bloodline series if they have iPads. Then they can get that from Apple as well. So I'm still in the process of publishing wide again after being on Kindle Unlimited for quite some time. So yeah.
Brilliant. Well, we can't wait to meet you next year, and we can't wait to see what you share for the rest of the evening. And thank you very much.
Thank you. And I can't wait to meet you too, Donna.
Same. Oh, you're going to get the biggest hug ever.
Same here. Same here. You take care.